Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Simming in Oz, and this is the Harry Potter Diagon Alley build. Thank you so much. If this is your first video with me, welcome. Today we are trying something incredibly ambitious and long. I cannot overstate how long this build took me, and as you'll see, the video is actually quite lengthy, so I tried to speed it up as much as I could, but I will preface this by saying it was really long and I had to cut so much out. I tried to cut out things that I didn't think you'd find interesting, but the final result is something I'm so proud of. And if you know me, this is only my third build within my Sims 4 YouTube channel, and so far I've only really done small lots. I've done number 4 Pivot Drive and I have done Hagrid's hut. At the moment we are building through a Harry Potter save, and I've got so many plans, but right now I was set on building the Burrow. I promised in my last video I was all set, I was in there, I was recording, and I got about 2 minutes into that build and I just thought, I was going through the edit live objects and show hidden objects menus, and I thought, wow, that's really nice. I have to remember that for my Diagon Alley build. So I kept going through and I thought, oh, I gotta remember that and that. And then I thought to myself, you know what, I might just, I'll pop over to the biggest lot in Glimmerbrook, which is my magical world that I'm building up as the Harry Potter save. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start it. I'm going to start it. I'll probably get frustrated at some point, but at least I'll have started the build and I can just build from there. And then I can finally do the Burrow. That was the plan. It did not work out. 2 days later and I was finished the build. I was really sick when I did this build, so I don't know if it was the fever talking, but I just impressed myself. Typically, I'm someone who stays away from big builds. I find them really intimidating, but just because it's so hard for me to do floor plans, I'm not someone who can just lay out a floor plan and think, yeah, that looks correct, and just run with it. I have to try things out. I have to test things. I will put down a single room and then completely furnish that room top to bottom. I can't just put out a whole floor plan and then just leave it. So it's room by room for me. So as you can see, I am true to fashion, just furnishing a street, putting down all the details before I move on to absolutely anything else. And that's very much how I treated the rest of this build. I was making one store at a time, and there are so many stores, I can't wait for you to see them. As you can see, I am going through and I am making a fake London street. Now, I wanted to conserve space as much as I could. As you know, this is Glimmerbrook. It's not that big. This is the biggest lot in Glimmerbrook, and it's not that big at all. And I thought, okay, I need so much space. I need to conserve. I need to be really smart about how I do this. So I was actually inspired by the fake storefronts you find in the Sims Get Famous pack. So I put them down and I thought, great, I have to make a fake London street. And then we are coming to the Leaky Cauldron, and it's the start of it all, and I was so happy with it. And at this point in the build I'm thinking, oh my god, this is actually working. I am not getting frustrated, it's happening. And so I am going through, I'm choosing doors. For the Leaky Cauldron I wanted to go drab. I got up a photo of the build within the movie because I thought that was so iconic. Typically with my builds, I like to go for the spirit of the movie and also the book, but I'm not against taking creative liberties with just running with my own thing. So a lot of the time I will just throw things out there, and if it's not looking correct, like it works in the movie, it's sort of what they describe in the book, but in The Sims it just does not translate, I will go back and I will make adjustments. So here I am throwing out a lot of werewolf pack stuff. I am throwing out just random vines. I'm trying to make it look as lived in but as wizardy kind of aesthetic as I possibly can. So the aesthetic for wizarding is old wood, a lot of drab colors but bright at the same time. The early Harry Potter movies were so bright, so I wanted to be reminiscent of that. So as you can see, I am just taking it room by room. I'm in the middle of the Leaky Cauldron, and this is basically the scene in Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban where Harry meets with the Weasleys at the Leaky Cauldron, and Arthur Weasley warns him about Sirius Black for the first time. And he's like, why would I go after someone who's trying to kill me? And I just desperately wanted to recreate that room. It's seared into my brain because I love that movie. And I was able to find these absolutely gorgeous storefront signs, so I used them throughout the entire build. But with this Leaky Cauldron, I just wanted it to be spacious, but also very intimate. So obviously I couldn't use as much space as I wanted to because needs must. I had to make room for the entire alley. So I am trying to be reminiscent of the movie but also fit it in. There are cobwebs and cracks all over this build. I actually almost got tired of putting down cracks and vines and cobwebs. There are so many fake spiders. People are going to come to this Diagon Alley and just be scared the entire time because there's so many. Interestingly enough, I did not put down a single mouse hole, and I'm quite regretting that actually, because that would be so perfect. But I don't think wizarding people would actually, allow rats to actually be a problem. I think they treat them more as pets than anything. So I don't think they would be in for the rodent infestation. So here I am just putting down the photos of the Leaky Cauldron, and I'm putting down the fireplace. I'm trying to make it look lived in. Typically my style of building is I'm okay with mixing colors and textures, but I need it to be cluttered as heck. The more cluttered, the better, and it all just has to fit into the same aesthetic. But I think a cluttered, well-used, nicely varied color and textures just makes a space look so realistic. So here I am just trying to fill it with as much junk as I possibly can. I do make a habit of putting soot out of fireplaces within my builds just to be reminiscent of the flue network that's established in Harry Potter. So here I am just putting in the table, which I hope is sort of recognizable from the movie, and then the side alley which Harry and Arthur Weasley actually have a chat in. I'm not going to be talking through this entire build because this video is very lengthy and I'm recovering from a sore throat, so I'm not going to put you through that, but I will be checking in every now and then when I have something relevant to say about the build. For now, I'm going to talk about my actual Harry Potter save. So the goal of this channel is to make an everything save. And I think I've spoken about this briefly in my other videos, but the idea is that I'm going to make a Harry Potter save, but it's going to be focused solely within Glimmerbrook. So Glimmerbrook is entirely Harry Potter themed. So there's going to be the Burrow, which is already built and posted to this channel, as well as Hagrid's hut. And Hagrid, he's all moved in, and the Dursleys are over in Pivot Drive in Henford-on-Bagley, so I've got them as well. They're all moved in. I've got Lily and James as well, but I haven't actually gotten around to killing them yet, so they're just wandering out around there. I am interested in making a Potter cottage where James and Lily can be ghosts and sort of just hang out. I think that would be so fun because I do want to keep them in world, but I don't want them to be dead, like unplayable. So I would absolutely love to make ghost Lily and James and move them into a completely destroyed and derelict Potter cottage where Voldemort was originally killed in book 1. As for the other builds that I'm going to be building within this neighbourhood, I've got plans for Malfoy Manor and the Malfoys, obviously. I was thinking the Death Eaters could live with the Malfoys because there's only 5 lots within Glimmerbrook, maybe 6, and then Hogwarts lot, which is also in the magical world. So I have very little space on what I'm actually going to be doing. So it's going to be Malfoy Manor, and maybe Grimmauld Place, where I can have the Order of the Phoenix, Snape, Minerva, Sirius Black, and Remus Lupin, of course, and maybe Dumbledore. I have no idea where to put Dumbledore still. I'm still working on it. Bear with me. So, yes, I'm very looking forward to Grimmauld Place. And then, now that I've got the Diagon Alley built, I can finally get back to the Burrow as well. I'm also going to be building Hermione and her family. I'm thinking of putting her into another neighbourhood though. She doesn't live within Glimmerbrook. That's the magical world. As you can see in the video right now, I am building the upstairs to the Leaky Cauldron. Right now I've put in a bathroom, a little sitting room where probably Minerva and everyone dished about Sirius Black and Harry overheard them in the 3rd movie. So that is established downstairs. And then upstairs I have got a little Leaky Cauldron bedroom for hire. You can eat your dinner in there. You have a bathroom. You sort of have a balcony, and it is just drab. It is so depressing in there. I tried to make it cheerful, and then I had to just go back and make it darker because it was like, no, this needs to be worse. So I'm really excited, but really happy with how Leaky Cauldron is coming. I couldn't afford to be too book accurate, or else I would be trying to make a whole train station out there or something really wild, and I just do not have the time for that. I was sick during this build and I was feverish, so I don't know how I got this done. As you can see, I'm moving over to the bar area. I was a little bit unclear how to make the courtyard. Like, I wanted to make a bar area and then go out into the courtyard, which is probably one of my favorite places of the build, where it just enters into Diagon Alley. So I am going through making a little dining room, just trying to make the layout make sense. So as you can see, I am in the middle of building the courtyard now and just playing with wallpapers, but absolutely just cannot wait to get out there and get into Diagon Alley. In terms of other things I would like to make for my Harry Potter neighborhood, I'm trying to figure out where I could possibly put Neville and his grandmother, because briefly after Diagon Alley was actually built, I actually went in as Harry Potter the character and played for a little bit, just to test things out and make sure everything was working appropriately. And I absolutely loved it, because all of the Harry Potter characters I'd made thus far were just flooding in, and it was so surreal to just watch Hagrid and the Weasleys and everyone, and even the Dursleys, if I'm being honest, just come into Diagon Alley, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I have to get like all the characters in somehow. Even if they won't be able to be playable within Glimmerbrook, I can put them in alternate neighborhoods, because assumably not all people who attend Hogwarts just live really, really close to one another. So I am so excited to be adding Neville Longbottom and his grandmother and Luna and some of the Slytherins, and I really, 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 really want to make Regulus Black and just have him reunite with his brother Sirius and everything. And I just want to bulk out the spellcaster Glimmerbrook family and just make it so interactive, because I'm such a perfectionist. If I make one, I have to make everything. So I want to add as much detail as I possibly can. In terms of after I've finished Harry Potter and I've done all the characters, I've done as many of the builds as I possibly can, I am going to be moving into other kind of worlds. So I would love a Disney world, I would love a Lord of the Rings world, anything that sort of fits into the character of a neighborhood, that would be fantastic. But I also just want to make, regular Sims and just add in, people from TV shows, people from movies. I really can't wait to make a Rick and Morty save where I can, make Rick and Morty and their family. I'll build their house and everything and their garage, and you'll just see these random characters walking around with the Harry Potter people. I love the idea that you can make a Sims 4 save and just look around at the townies and know exactly who everyone is, and you're excited to see them. And there's just that fun overlap of, oh my god, Ariel from The Little Mermaid is shacking it up with Gandalf from Lord of the Rings or something. I find that so fun and so quirky. So even though this is a massive undertaking, I'm starting off with Harry Potter because it's what I'm passionate about, but I'm passionate about all the things that I love on TV, so I can't see me growing tired of this. I am absolutely loving every bit of moment of this journey. So if you do want to come along and watch me build the rest of the Harry Potter universe, I am so excited. I will be building the Burrow next, I super promise, and then I'm going to build Hermione, because I haven't done Hermione yet, and that is a crime. But if you do want to come along for this journey and watch me build just every single character from every single fandom that everyone loves into one big Sims 4 save file, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, let me know some ideas, because I am so keen to hear what everyone would be so thrilled to have inside this save file, because I am open to anything, honestly. Any kind of fandom, any characters, Do you have characters that you'd rather that, got the story that they didn't get told, or have love stories and they never ended up together? Hence Sirius Black and Remus Lupin. Don't hate me, I read a lot of fan fiction. So at the moment I am just so keen to build as much as I can and just make it fun, because I've been wanting to add just a little bit more fun into my Sims 4, and so I am loving this idea. As you can see, our Apothecary is coming along. I am super focused on tiny details. It is a really long build, I do apologize, but I just wanted everything to be absolutely perfect. I love how the windows open out and you can actually sort of see into the store, so I sort of tried to make shop fronts, but I am trying to clutter up as much as I possibly can and just go with it. What I found is really common with my build that sort of differs from the Harry Potter movies is that the Harry Potters, bar the first and second one maybe, they're so bright, and my build turned out really bright as well. It's really hard to make something drab and not fun within The Sims 4. Everything is just so beautifully coloured and everything, and I just wanted to add some life and some magic to my Sims 4 build. So while Diagon Alley in the movies is drab and dusty, so dusty for a magical world, honestly, I absolutely love a colourful Diagon Alley, and that's the direction I went in. See, when I make up the U shape of the neighbourhood and the build, I wanted it to feel really claustrophobic between the shop fronts, and you will notice as the build goes along that I really struggle as the buildings actually go up to actually find ways to get the camera in between buildings just so I can build in it, because the buildings are almost collapsing in on each other. I wanted it to feel intimate and claustrophobic from the movies, so everything is almost touching. Everything is super cluttered and just filled to the brim with details. Another build I did not actually think I would be making, and I'm still not 100% sure on it, is Hogsmeade. I did not think to do Hogsmeade. I don't know where I would even fit Hogsmeade within this build, because I think it would be such a shame to miss out on all the great places that are within Hogsmeade. I would love to make a candy store. I would almost, you know what, I didn't actually put in the joke shop into Diagon Alley, and I thought, oh my god, it's too much. I can't do it. I can't fit it in, because really I dedicated most of the build to just usual things you would find in Diagon Alley, and the joke shop was just something that came in the later movies, and within the canon of this universe I've sort of dated it towards the very start of the movies. So while everything is going on, Harry is still living at the Dursleys, he is still a child, so that's sort of where I've dated this save, and if you wanted to start from the very beginning you could do so. So I didn't want to quite date it and have the Weasley twins, who are still teenagers within this build, have a joke shop, so that's just not something I put in. I did do a very extensive Gringotts build at the very end of this video, which I'm really quite proud of. And I have a little surprise in terms of the alternative to the dragon, because obviously I can't put in a dragon to protect Gringotts. So I had to find an alternative, and I'm so happy with what I actually went with. As you can see, I am building Ollivanders, and this is my favorite bit of the whole build. This build was the thing that inspired me to actually make Diagon Alley in the first place. I could see what I would do in this part so clearly that I was like, okay, I want to get in there, and immediately I want to make Ollivanders really close to the start because I have the perfect vision in mind. As you can see, it's got wood tones, it's a bit creepy, it is cramped. And I love how cramped it is because it just makes it feel so much more realistic. I would love the option of actually making Harry Potter side characters and actually have them work at these stores, but unfortunately Sims 4 just random generates a lot of people to just come. So unfortunately, when I came in here with Harry and had him walk around and playtest stuff, just regular Sims 4 townies were automatically added to my game just so they could come and be register people for my Sims 4 build. And I'm like, you look so out of place among all the Harry Potter people and all the old architecture. You are here in basically a hot dog costume. Go away. So I would love to find a way to make Ollivander and all the other people that you find in Diagon Alley and actually add them in as employees. Speaking of employees, I have a fun idea. So as you know, I'm going to be building the Malfoys in a little bit, and I am thinking, okay, what can I do in universe just to add some fun? So I was thinking I would have Lucius Malfoy actually be the owner of the retail store known as Diagon Alley. So it's actually playable within game that you could come here and you could actually buy all the potions, all the wands, all the brooms, and have, you know, Lucius's employees actually, you know, restock everything and try to sell you stuff. So it would be a functional retail store. I love the idea of that. Even though Lucius doesn't own Diagon Alley in the movies or the books, I just love the idea that he has a certain kind of landlord responsibility and power over everyone. I'm sort of toying with the idea of him also owning the Burrow, just so he has that over the Weasleys. I feel like that's such pettiness, and it was exactly something he would do if he had the opportunity. So I am thinking, yes, Lucius Malfoy should own half of Glimmerbrook just as a landlord, so he can rent it out and have the Weasleys rent be sky high, and that can contribute to their financial problems, and it would be so perfect. So as soon as this build is done, and once the Malfoy family has moved into their thing and created, I'm going to have Lucius come in and actually buy this retail store, because it is classed as a retail store, and it just makes it that much more functional that you could actually come in and buy certain things from Diagon Alley. It'll also make shopping for your spellcasters so much easier, because sometimes you just need a certain rock or a certain plant and you cannot find it, so you can find it at Diagon Alley, as it should be. The thing I loved most about Ollivanders, and this is what made me excited, is I was wondering to myself, how do I fit in the shelves that hold the wands? That was what I was obsessing over, and I thought, there's no bookshelves that would fit that description, so what can I use? And I thought, oh my god, the wine racks, because they're stackable and they take up a lot of space. I'm not going to go through and add wands to every single little thing, because that would be ridiculous. Even I have limits, but I just loved the idea, because like, yes, that is perfect. That is exactly what that build needs, and it just looks fun. So I made it so cramped and dusty in this one shop. I'm so proud. And it looks so fun. upstairs, I wanted to give Ollivander his own little office. So here I am furnishing it, and it has a gemology table so he can, tinker away. He's not making wands, but you know what? We don't care. We love a little bit of suspending our disbelief. So I am just adding in as many tools and trying to make it as cluttered as I possibly can for him. But I would be so happy if I could get Ollivander to actually run this store. I don't know. I'll try. I'll definitely try. So here I am placing down all of the wands. Typically I wanted to have every single option of wand with every single color swatch. So I am going through and I'm putting down absolutely everything. It took me a minute to work out how to actually unlock show hidden objects and live edit objects, because I don't usually do that within my builds. So I just had to Google that, and then I got access for the first time to the whole library of show hidden objects build and everything, and I was like, oh my god, I'm such a vanilla Sims 4 player. I've never really experimented with the hidden objects, so this has opened a whole new world for me and I loved it. So next we are making Flourish and Blotts bookstore, and I was really happy with how this turned out. I sort of had to go really experimental with the outside of builds, because by the end I was running out of color palettes, and I'm like, oh my god, how can I make this building distinct from all the other weird looking buildings within this build? So I was like, balcony here, plant here, weird window here, and just make it work. I think the roofs, I had to get so good at doing up roofs, because typically I'm not very good at roofing. I struggle. Like, tell me to do a roof and I will struggle. I noticed with the theme for this build, I am going to put so much greenery into this build. Harry Potter in the Harry Potter universe could never, with the amount of greenery that I have in this build. It is not unlike the Harry Potter universe. Like, mine is so organic, but I just love it. I think plants add so much life to any build, and I will be not apologizing for putting the amount of plants that I did within this build. Another thing I haven't touched on before is my inclusion of Hermione, which is coming very soon. I haven't made her, but I'm going to be making her and her parents. And I've been kind of thinking, okay, I can't make dentists within The Sims 4, so I'm wondering to myself, okay, what do I do? So I am going to be making Hermione and her parents own a veterinary clinic. So it's not a dentistry clinic, it's pets. But I think, yeah, okay, that'll be fine. That'll be completely fine. Like, they're still business owners. They still care about something very much. It's just not teeth. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm just so excited to make Harry, Ron, and Hermione friends and just have them interact and everything. And Neville and everyone just being friends and hanging out. That would be so fantastic. My little Harry Potter fan heart just can't take it. In terms of Flourish and Blotts, I wanted to make it just a little fancier than any of the stores that we've seen in Diagon Alley so far. So it's got grand bookcases. I wanted to completely fill it up and clutter it up. So as you can see, I am adding in bookcase after bookcase. I am trying to find themed books to actually sell at Flourish and Blotts. So you can actually buy any of these books, hopefully within practice, after I've got Lucius Malfoy to purchase the retail lot. And then I will have any of these items for sale. Not everything will be for sale, mind you, like we still want some clutter, but I'm hoping that I can make the bulk of everything sellable. So at the time of this recording, the Harry Potter TV series is in the works, and that's probably why I've been inspired to start this one YouTube channel and two, to start this whole build challenge, just because I am a massive fan of Harry Potter and the entire magical universe. I think that it is one of the greatest things ever. I read the books, I've seen the movies, and I just love it so much. Even though I am a full-grown adult, you never stop loving Harry Potter and it never stops being special to you. So I am so excited for this TV show. I am cautiously optimistic that it's going to be good. Even if it's just awful Harry Potter, I am so excited for it. Like, I will take any version of Harry Potter as long as it's new and exciting and I can just dissect it. Because I would love to see just any kind of interpretation of Harry Potter. I think the reason the fandom has gone on so long is that people have such a love of Harry Potter, even though the movies were quite a long time ago and Fantastic Beasts wasn't the best. People still love Harry Potter today, and I think it is so special to so many people, regardless of what's happening with the author, that people just want to go back to Hogwarts every now and then. So even if the Harry Potter TV show isn't the best, I'm still looking super forward to it, because I can't wait to just go back to the magical world and just see what someone else makes of it. So I am super excited. I am being cautiously optimistic for this TV show, and I'm just super happy just to see what they're going to do with it. I don't mind if they make some changes. I don't mind if they take some creative liberties with certain characters. Just make it make sense. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. I want logic. I want, okay, so why have you done this, this, and this? And if it makes sense within the Harry Potter world, yay, absolutely. Go forth with your artistic interpretation. I would love to hear it. I reserve the right to just sort of make fun of it, but I can't wait, honestly. I'm just like, yes, I get to go back to Hogwarts and Harry Potter, and I'm so excited. I just honestly cannot wait to see what they do with Harry, Ron, Hermione, and all the side characters that we didn't get background on, like the Marauders. I think I can speak for a lot of Harry Potter fans when I say that the reason everyone has sort of kept in love with Harry Potter is the idea of fan content and how much people have put time and effort into generating fan content about stuff that we actually wanted to see within the movies and the books and that we just didn't get. So like the Marauders and, you know, the founding of Hogwarts and all that kind of stuff. And obviously we won't get that kind of stuff within the Harry Potter TV show, but we can get other stuff like Peeves and Neville and his family and his troubled background, because we didn't really get that. Yes, we understand that his parents died and it was very sad, but his uncle dropped him out a window, and so many people don't know that. And then Luna and her mum passing, and we can explore some of that and have the Weasleys be there and just have so much more in-depth look into the magical world and just get to know the characters again, and maybe even if they're, you know, okay about it, adding in some new stuff. I don't know how they're going to be with, you know, fan casting and everything. I hope, look, they haven't released a cast yet at the time of this recording, so I don't know who they've casted for what. I'm hoping that this video ages well. and that it's all fine. And I'm going to give every single actor, no matter who they pick, a fair shot, because there have been casting choices in other projects for other stuff that I thought, okay, let's see how it goes. And I absolutely loved it. I recently watched the Percy Jackson TV series not too long ago. Loved it. I sat down and we had movie marathons with my friends because we'd all read the books and we were all really excited and we'd all seen the terrible movies. And we were just like, oh my God, let's go watch Percy Jackson together. And it was so much fun. And so I am looking forward to having watch sessions with all my friends and just going back to Harry Potter and just theorizing and just having fun with it. And if they can do the whole 8 seasons for 8 years kind of thing, that's like at least 8 years plus in our future with Harry Potter content. Harry Potter content for 8 years. Are you kidding? That's amazing. I can't wait. Please comment below and tell me what you are most excited for, because I just need people to chat to about this. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm the only one in my immediate friend group that is excited for this TV show. I'm like, everybody, Harry Potter's coming back! Yay! So they are probably getting tired of me talking about it, but I can't help it. I just want to talk about this. I want to make fan content about it. I want to be in this area of the world right now. I'm so happy. To the build, I am making a little apothecary store next door. So as you can see, I just built a crystal store and I wanted to fill it with, you know, jewelry and anything, and I thought, oh my God, half of that jewelry is going to be cursed. So I just went in and I built the tiniest little crystal store, because we didn't get a crystal store within Harry Potter, I don't think, but I still wanted to make a store with crystals. Anything that's themed in slightly magical within The Sims 4, I wanted to make a store for it. So at the moment I am building the Broom store next, and it goes through a color scheme thing and I changed it up a lot, but I'm super happy with how the Broom store turned out. As you can see, the gap between all the buildings is getting narrower and narrower, and I'm in love with it. Here's another change I did to Diagon Alley. I actually added in a massive fireplace that was conceivably big enough to actually step and walk into, and I wanted to make it a sort of Floo network travel point. So as you can see, it is a massive fireplace. It has got a faux sort of magical green thing that you can sort of pick up powder from. I wanted to add in one of those, and as you can see, it's got a massive trail of soot hanging out of it and ash, and I just love the idea that people come and go from this fireplace, so I liked that idea. And as we are moving on to our clothing store next. I wanted to have a store where you could come and you could buy wizarding clothing, so I've put in mannequins into there, and I'm so excited to have Lucius Malfoy go and do some fashions for me as soon as he owns the place. So this is without doubt the biggest build I have ever done in my Harry Potter save thus far. The next biggest one is definitely going to have to be Hogwarts, and it's just going to have to wait for a special day where I am feeling extra inspired, because that is going to be a job and a half for me to do. If I thought this build was challenging in terms of space management, it has got nothing on Hogwarts, because I love Hogwarts so much, and I am going to be absolutely determined to fit absolutely everything about Hogwarts into that tiny lot, and it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to be super creative with all the basement levels, with all the top levels. I'm just trying to fit everything in as much as I can. I really want to fit in the greenhouse, I really want to fit in the owlery, but we're just going to have to see. Do not even ask me about the Quidditch pitch, okay? Because I have no idea what I'm going to do in terms of how do I put Quidditch into The Sims 4? Do I have an alternative, or do I have to actually do Quidditch? If you have any ideas or any commentary on how you want this Sims 4 save to be done, please feel free to sing out, because I love ideas and I just love chatting about this with people. So feel free to, if you have any ideas on who you want me to make, who I definitely have to make, and what builds I definitely have to do, go forth and I will make them. And I'm going to be uploading every single build and every single family onto the gallery on my Sims account. You can find my gallery at Simming in Oz on the gallery, just those words, and you can actually download any of these saves. So feel free to go forth and download at your leisure. Enjoy! building Gringotts Bank. And I did not know how I was going to pull this off because Gringotts, 1, it leans to the side in the movie, and 2, it is massive. And I thought, oh God, how am I going to do this? Because it's not just the top of Gringotts, it's everything under Gringotts, if you know what I mean. So I was like, oh dear. So I was like, okay, I have to get the front right because the front makes it recognizable for what it is. So I started off with the front. I was doing columns, I was doing white, I was doing castle accessories and everything. So I think it turned out really well. But this is towards the end of the build where I was like, oh my God, my strength and creativity is actually waning. So by the time I got to this point, I was crawling in terms of creativity, but I just did not want to stop because I was so afraid that if I stopped, the creativity would be gone. So Gringotts gets the, all right, just pop it down and we'll see how it looks treatment. But I think it turned out okay. I might go back and make some tweaks and just add in a bit more detail. As you'll see later, I do try my best, but I actually ended up doing the long room in which Harry and Hagrid walk down to speak to the Master Goblin at the end of his little podium. And then I did a hallway and all the underground chamber and everything. So all the vaults, the monster that guards the vaults underneath and everything. What I had to laugh at myself for was that by the time I got there, I only had about a 4x4 room to fit an entire roller coaster into. And I'm like, this is not happening. So I just did what I could. And here we have one of my favorite parts of the whole build, Nocturn Alley. I went back and forth on how I was going to do Nocturn Alley because I started building, I did not have a plan, and I just kept going. And by the time I got around to the end of the build, I'm like, oh, I haven't made Nocturn Alley yet. And I have to because, well, you just have to. It's not Diagon Alley without Nocturn Alley. So I was like, all right, how do I fit this in? How do I conceivably do a dirty alley that's sort of secret to the rest of Diagon Alley that you're not really meant to go down, and only scummy people with bad intentions go down there? So I was like, all right, let's play with basement levels and see what we do. I love basement levels. I love multi-levels of anything that make it look interesting, and this was fantastic for me. So I'm so proud of how it turned out. I love that you can go down, there's multiple stores down there, and it's cobwebby and it's dirty and it's perfect for Nocturn Alley. And I made a forbidden shop that sells all forbidden magic wear. So I imagine this is where Malfoy and his mother actually went to get to the vanishing cabinets, and this is where Harry sort of flew into by accident and got grabbed by that hand in the second movie. So I am so excited. And here we come to one of the last builds for Diagon Alley. I wanted a potions shop so bad, but I also wanted a potion shop that would sell fizzing drinks and potions and familiars for spellcasters. So this is where I was like, okay, this is my last chance to fit in anything I haven't fit in thus far. I toyed with the idea of making an ice cream store, but it wasn't to be. I was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't fit it in anywhere else. it's just gonna have to not happen. And I couldn't do the joke shop, but that's really all I'd missed, honestly. I'm hoping that's all I missed in Diagon Alley, but I tried to get the major components out of the way. So this is me making my potion store. It is too cheerful looking to be a potion store. This is like the fun, hip potion store that Luna Lovegood would shop at, not some dusty shop that Snape would slink into just to buy his potion supplies. So yes, this is not Snape's potion store. This is the Disney potion store. I would also love to incorporate Star Wars into my Sims 4 save file. So I already know that there's some Star Wars in there, but I'd love to make an entire town dedicated to aliens and Star Wars and all of the people in there. So I would love to make every single character, and I would love to just create copies of everybody, like Anakin, Obi-Wan, and of course Rey and Kylo. And oh my god, I wonder if I could make Jar Jar. That would be a heck of a challenge to do, but I would love to take on that challenge. Of course, I will do absolutely every fandom that I can possibly think of, because I have an entire Sims 4 save file to fill with people just from random fandoms. So I am so open to anyone's suggestions on that front, but just know that if it's fun and if it's interesting and it would be cool, just let me know where they would work. So like, I'm thinking, I wonder if the Rick and Morty family could live in the alien world. If that would be fun, that would be so cool, because of course they live in the alien neighborhood. Most likely Strangerville, because that has some creepiness going on. I also like the idea of Breaking Bad. I'd love for Jesse and Walt to have the RV, and instead of making, you know, the bad stuff, they could manufacture mother plants instead. That would be like the Sims 4 equivalent. So I'm really happy with that idea, and they would of course be in Strangeville. Sorry, this isn't the Sims 2. And what else can I do? I can do Gravity Falls. I would love to find a way to put Gravity Falls characters into the Granite Falls of the Sims 4. So that's another one we could do. And I was thinking also the Scooby-Doo gang. I would love to make Scooby-Doo, the whole gang in The Sims 4, and The Simpsons, definitely. Stranger Things, oh my god, yes. If I could make the Simpsons house and have Ned Flanders live next door, I would have so much fun with that. Obviously, everything's an artistic interpretation and everything, but you can see how they would sort of all just interact with one another. Another one I'd love to do is Stranger Things, and of course it wouldn't be the vampire world without the Twilight, so definitely Twilight in the vampire world, though I don't think it'll be the whole vampire world, because there's so many other fun vampires out there. So there's Louis and Lestat that I really want to add in there with Claudia. I'd love to add Wednesday, and I've got big plans for my city San Myshuno in the Sims 4 save. So I'm thinking Seinfeld, I'm thinking the Friends cast, and maybe Batman could be incorporated into that. Maybe some DC Universe into the city, maybe some Marvel, we'll have to see. And then of course maybe Teen Wolf for the werewolves, and some werewolves from Twilight, just anything and everything. Oh my god, there's so many supernatural things. Imagine Sam, Dean, and Bobby from Supernatural, and they'd have to live in Strangerville. Like, they could not live anywhere else. Of course, they'd live in the one where there's all the aliens and the supernatural creatures, but the fun is I can just expand it through all the neighborhoods and just have it so intermingling. I don't even think I have enough fandoms to cover everything, because there are just so many Sims 4 neighborhoods. I need ideas, people. Send me ideas. Another thing I think would be really great is Good Omens. Oh my god, if I could make Aziraphale and Crowley have a bookstore. Oh my god, I have to do it. Of course I do, because that would be so fun. Another one is maybe Umbrella Academy, maybe South Park, Peaky Blinders, and of course, Disney. I could do hundreds of families and builds and just everything centered around Disney. Maybe even Once Upon a Time, taking inspiration from there. Not an exact replica, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want to do artistic interpretations of Disney. So have, Ursula, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and oh my god, it would be amazing. So if anyone's got any ideas, and if anyone can logically find out where they would actually fit within the Sims 4 neighborhood, what job they would have, who would they interact with? I love the idea that there will be like fan clubs and drinking buddies and bowling teams and, you know, lunch buddies between certain members of certain fandoms. I would just think it would be so fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that, but I'm so open to ideas. But right now we're focusing on Harry Potter, and I am determined to finish Harry Potter before I do absolutely anything else. So if you have any ideas on Harry Potter or any of the other builds, please come along. My channel is relatively new at this point, just because I am a massive fan and a long-time fan of The Sims 4, but I never actually shared any of my builds or ideas with anyone before. And then just one day I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pop it out there. I'm not going to overthink it. If people want to watch, they want to watch, and if they want to come along, because I've got this really fun idea that I want to do, and some people might find it interesting, so why not? So if you'd like to come along, you are so more than welcome. Alright, here we go. Last stretch. The Gringotts vault. Oh my goodness. So I had this, it's a 3x3 room. It was even smaller than I estimated. I had this 3x3 room, and I had to make it the entrance to the Gringotts caverns and the vaults and everything and the monster below. And I was like, how do I get everybody down there? I can't build a roller coaster in this game. So I thought, all right, we're doing stairs. So you guys are lucky I just didn't do a ladder down there, because that would be the most awkward thing. Can you imagine Lucius Malfoy just going down the ladder because like, oh, I gotta go withdraw some gold and galleons. Oh my god, it would be so stupid. So yes, we are doing just basic stairs down to Gringotts. I am so sorry. It's a disappointment. I have failed. But here we are. It's probably the biggest room in all of the whole build, but I just wanted it to be really, really vast. And if I'm honest, my creativity was flagging at this point. I was having some trouble because Sims 4 is Sims 4, and I was just not having any luck with doing multi-story builds within this dungeon. So I struggled. I tried to do balconies. It didn't work, and I was there for like half an hour and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to do something basic. So here I am, I'm putting down the columns, I'm doing the multi-level, and I still think even as basic as it is, it's still fun. So that's what I did. I think the castle stuff really saved this build, because it's shadowy, it's dusty, but there's no cobwebs, because I don't feel like Gringotts would ever dare have any cobwebs in their build. So yeah, no, that's not happening. As you can see, I am going through and I am adding in vaults. I did toy with the idea of adding in vaults and for specific families and having items in there, and then I thought, no. It's too much. I can't do it. I am very tired at this point, and I want the opportunity to just give people who play this build and who play this save the opportunity to fill up the vaults with their own things. So I just decided, you know what? Anyone can fill up their own vaults. That's completely fine as well. And so we're coming to the portion of the build where I add in the monster that actually guards the Gringotts vault. And I was thinking to myself, I don't have a dragon, so what can I do? Well, I decided to use, and you'll see it down the line, the mother plant from Strangerville. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I really love something that's actually, you know, organic, that's sort of, it feels like the goblins have summoned this monster from the ether and they use it to protect all their vaults. And she's got these lovely long tentacles, and she even moves. I tested this in live mode. So she's waving all about and she's there, and she is massive. So I thought, oh my god, if anyone tried to steal from Gringotts, they would not succeed, because this lady and her tentacles are there and she is watching over everything. So I love the idea that the mother plant is just there guarding Gringotts, and I think it is so fun. So here I am adding some cages onto the Gringotts vaults, but that is really it for Diagon Alley, and I am so proud and I am so happy that you've clicked on this video and you wanted to come along with the build. Congratulations for making it this far. I know it was really long and I tried to condense the video down as much as I possibly could, but I am so happy with how this turned out, and it's just inspired me even more to continue with my building journey. So that is it. Thank you so much for coming along. If you liked this video, please drop a like. I put so much effort into it and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So if you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment for any suggestions. I'm honestly open to anything. And thank you so much for watching this build. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.